Hi, welcome back. I'm Sifu Wayne, author of the Wing Chun Compendium series of books and head instructor of the Canadian Wing Chun Academy. I'd like to welcome you to the next in a series of video question and answer sessions. Let's head on out to the studio. Hi, welcome back. This week we're going to spend a few minutes and talk about the punching bag. We're going to do things a little bit differently than we have in the past, and I'm going to try and apply a little bit of structure to these lessons, and hopefully it improves the quality of these videos. This punching bag lesson we're going to talk about today is just about the punching bag. It assumes that you already have some proficiency with the straight punch, that you already have some proficiency with the stance, so we're going to assume those things are in place. This drill is also what I like to call part practice, or a simple basic skill. So it's a building block for a larger skill. What that means is there probably won't be too much practical application that's going to come out of this specific drill. This drill is also going to be performed in a stable environment. That means your conditions are not changing. So let's head on over to the punching bag section, and we'll show you how to do this stuff. What I'm going to get you to start with is put your hand on out so that your palm touches the punching bag. Keep your shoulders square so you're not swiveled one way or the other, and then make a couple of fists. Just like with the air punches, then drop that first fist out of the way and let that back fist fly. Now, of course, we want it to go in a straight line, just like an arrow. And what we're going to do is we're going to teach ourselves how to release the punch using this drill. So the punching bag is essentially going to become like a catcher's mitt for our punch. So we're not worried about hitting it very hard. We're not worried about anything except technique and releasing the punch. This punching bag that I have here is filled with stones. It's filled with aquarium stone, to be specific. But what I'd recommend is start with something a little softer like rice or soybeans. Fill it up good and full, as much as it'll hold. Then move on to sand once your hand can take 1,000 punches without any serious impact. Move on up to sand, and once you can do 1,000 punches with sand, you should go ahead and move on up to these stones. And one of the things we're doing here is applying Wolff's Law. What that says is essentially the bone density is going to improve as we continue to condition our hands. Let's move on now to the follow along section. So I'm going to do the punches here at a regular speed, and I'm going to ask you to just follow along. Do this until you can do, 1,000 or so without too much problem. And then it's a good indication that you can move on up to the next bag. Now, with the speed I want to talk about a little bit here is every weapon or every tool, in the case of a hammer is a good one I like to use. Every tool has its own maximum efficiency tempo, where if you go too fast you're not delivering enough power, and if you go too slow you're wasting time. So think of a carpenter on a rooftop in the summer. All the professional carpenters are hammering at exactly the same pace. Why is that? It's because this tool has a perfect tempo to deliver the right amount of power. And all the professional carpenters do this. What I'm showing here in this demonstration is the tempo for this weapon that we call a punch. If you punch too quickly, you can't deliver or release all of your energy into your opponent. And if you punch too slowly, you're wasting time and they'll likely punch you back. And just keep in mind that if you see any redness or any other type of injury, you should really stop until that gets completely healed up. What I'd like to do now is move on to the common mistakes section. There's quite often people will say, hey, what are some of the more common things that happen that people do when they're just starting? So I'd like to move on and show you a few of those. Again, we're going to measure, and here it comes. We're going to have a little bit of fun with this. The first one is standing too close to the bag, what we call chokyu. So your punch is a little bit jammed up and can't deliver all the power that you want. Naturally, the opposite of that, if you're standing too far away from the bag, you're going to have some trouble as well. You won't be able to deliver the force you need for the single knockout punch. Don't chop your punch. Clearly, I'm exaggerating a little bit here, but you got to have a little bit of fun. No back fisting, so keep those elbows down and drive the fist forward with the back fist. Don't worry about punching too hard. Don't worry about trying to really pound that bag. Just throw the punch and let it catch it. Don't lean forward. Stay in your stance, and when you connect with the punch, you should feel it in your heels, so don't lean forward. Don't be too aggressive with that bag. Don't be just trying to punch it any old way you can. Make sure you focus on your technique and keep things clean. Don't punch too softly. We do want to throw a baseball and have it land in that glove, so don't punch too softly. And the other thing, when you're punching, don't rotate the shoulders or the hips. So we want to keep the shoulders square and just focus on the punch and feeling the connection of the fist all the way down into the heels. And I'm going to redo these common mistakes. This time's a little bit subtler, and what I'd like you to do is just watch this video, watch my fist, and try to figure out for yourself what exactly am I doing wrong. And this is going to help you in your training so that you can identify your own mistakes when you're practicing in front of the mirror. And one variation I like to do is I like to work on my heavy bag. This bag that I have here, you'll see over on the left-hand side, is a 140-pound heavy bag. It's filled with compressed, sterilized playground sand. What I like to do is just push it forward a little bit, and then so that it gives me a bit of pressure back, and then just hit it right on center. This helps toughen my fists, and because of the backwards pressure, it really helps me to work on my stance. And that's all I'm going to say about the punching bag. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. I wish you all the best in your training, and please feel free to contact me if you have any questions or suggestions for topics. You can find me on Facebook, and feel free to friend me there. Until next time, thanks very much, and take care. I'll chat with you again then.